Welcome back, travelers and explorers of Arrakis. That's right, it's another reset day. And today we got a lot of juicy map to be looking at, but first let's take a second to dive into a little bit of the shout out and questions that come from the community. First off, I want to say to Capo Info, yes, Capo Info, I am residing in Korea. I've been here 23 years and counting, so thanks for noticing that my paint program was in Korean. That was very observant of you, and I appreciate you leaving a reply. SpongeBob 423, deep crunchy goodness. I watched it all start to end. SpongeBob 423, you now should be SpongeBob I love you 424 because you are the best. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay tuned because every week the map does change, and so does this special. Next we have Ghost Curse, who says dead game. Oh no, Ghost Curse, don't say that just yet. The game has slowed down like most games do. However, there is still a good solid 30 to 50,000 people playing. You cannot call this dead just yet, but it is slowing down, and I hope that the devs do something to help spark some more excitement to get more people into the game in the near future. And finally, we have Andrew MO49. He says by 7 a.m. all the islands in the Ero PvE zone were filled with bases. It's crazy rush, and anyone not getting in before this just misses out. Need more islands in E through 6. Andrew, I could not agree with you more. This was not an originally planned concept by the devs. They just implemented it about 3 weeks ago out of nowhere, and ever since then any rock that is on the E area is getting exploded. This is the reason why we try to push this video out as soon as possible. That way anyone seeing it has a chance to position themselves for a good spot out there in the E zone. However, I cannot guarantee that because there are a lot of hungry PvEers and PvPers that are looking for great spots to be able to launch off from, to bring in all the necessities or get done what they want to be done before the desert resets every week. Once again, everybody, thank you for leaving comments and talking to me. If you have any questions, or if you want to leave any kind of juicy comment, good or bad, please feel free to leave something down below because I want to hear from you. And now, without further ado, it is time to look at the new Deep Desert map.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
Because today we got some spice. One of the major issues that we were seeing last week, well, a lot of the complaints that were coming into the channel were that, hey, they need to put more titanium and stravinium and spread it out all over the map. Well, let me tell you something. Somebody heard your complaints and somebody cares. There is someone out there who cares, and you know what? They were able to help you out big time. Because as you can see, we now have stravinium and titanium spread all across the entirety of the Deep Desert map. Now, please do not go around thinking this is going to make your life any more easier, because guess what? It is not. There are still going to be PvPers that are flowing off of these 3 lanes. Anytime they see a ship, they are going to be shooting rockets at you. My only advice to all of you is just be patient. And there are times where those guys aren't online, and that does suck because it's taking away from your gameplay time. But hey, guess what? The whole foundation of this game by Funcom was created thinking that PvP was going to be the in-game monster, and they still haven't gotten over it. Still, in my opinion, we need a PvP/PvE server that are separate from each other so that people can enjoy and play the game as they see fit. However, if you look at the way the map is shaping up, and please keep in mind there are still things that could pop up on this map. We're trying to get this out as early as possible so that you, the gamers, have a chance to get out here, set up some kind of base, and start gathering all these materials. Now, on top of that, you will also see that there is some stravinium in the safe zone this week. So I'm sure there's going to be some titanium that is falling along this. We just have not found it as of this moment, but I guarantee by about 12 o'clock or about 6 to 7 hours later, you will see some titanium drop up here. However, remember, all the people who are out here early are building bases and blocking all of these resources every single week, so it might be a little bit difficult to be finding any of these resources if you are not going into the danger zone. And keeping that in mind, though, you do have 5 options, and I'm sure that there are going to be more options that pop up out here. Just know that Funcom is listing, and they are trying their best to spread things out as much as possible. That way, you, the player, can reach and gather all of these resources, bring them back, and build all those fancy machinery and ornithopters that you want to build to your heart's desires. Now, keeping that in mind, there's something that has never happened before.
It's magic.
Guess what? There is not 1, but 2, but 3, but 4, but 5. What? And there is 6 spotted large spice deposits that are sprouting on the map this week. It is out of control, let me tell you. The only thing that I can say that is good about this is now the PvPers are going to have to find and spread out their resources to be able to get us as we are trying to gather these things. However, it is still not going to be all that safe because, once again, they are all more or less within inside 3 lanes. People can literally just glide back and forth, but hopefully having this amount of large spice deposits is going to give us all an opportunity to get out there and gather as much spice as we could want. But the bad news on this is I have a no strategy for you this week because, as is, they are spreading and dumping as much resource as they possibly can on us. And I think they're doing this because people keep complaining, saying, hey, I'm not getting anything, and hey, people are building bases that are blocking nodes, and every time that I go up to gather spice, I'm getting rocketed and dive bombed. Yeah, these things are happening, and so what I believe Funcom is trying to do at this point is kind of spread things out and multiply them. That way they give us more of a shot to get out there and get them. However, this doesn't necessarily equal more resources for us because, remember, these things do not spawn at the same time, and if you are very inclined to PvP and thrash up all the nice spice harvesting people, you will literally just stick around the big spice plumes that are up, and you will keep people spying to see which ones are blooming. It's not like you can't see them. It is a massive atomic bomb every time one goes off. So this isn't necessarily going to make it safer, but at least we are going to have a lot more option out here to come and gather spice, as well as stravinium and titanium. Now, I do believe there's more titanium out here on the map. It just has not popped up. I wasn't able to spot it as I was going through because I was in a rush to deliver this news and information back to you guys. There might even be another large spice plume that does pop up. However, I have never seen more than 6. We had 6 about 3 weeks ago, and then we had 2 weeks where it was like 4 or 5, and we're back to 6. So let's just see what the devs do with this, and hopefully it does work out. Now, keeping all this in mind, there is a few side notes that I want to pop in here that I was introduced to that I had no idea about. Now, please keep in mind, when it comes to running labs out in the deep desert, I never touch these labs that are in the safe zone. The reason being is they always just give us garbage blueprints. You can literally get the same drops out of those labs as what you are getting down here in the safe A zone, which is guaranteed not to be PvP. But I learned something new. It was reported to me that these labs are actually PvP, regardless of where they're at. Now, whether they're going to be this way this week, I don't know. I had a little snort there. My pigginess. Whether they are going to be PvP this week, I do not know. I always was under the impression, however, that they were not PvP. In fact, I can remember about 4 weeks ago running these labs just for the fun of it, once they opened up the split E safe zone concept, and there was like 20 of us in there killing stuff and not hurting each other. But to hear that they are turning these into PvP zones is kind of different for me. I wasn't expecting that to be a big change. If it is happening, I'm sorry if I've told you it was safe, you went out there and died, but please keep in mind, people are reporting back to me that they are encountering PvP inside of these labs. So they might not be as safe as you want them to be. Regardless, let me tell you, they aren't even that worth running. Maybe this week they will change that loot table, but I generally do not believe so. Funcom does not have a great track record of changing stuff that actually matters. Instead, they just cut a map in half and say go at it. So as long as you are staying down here in the A zone, you are more than likely going to be getting the exact same materials and blueprints as what you would get in these two labs. So if they are out there, just avoid them. They are of no consequence and they will be very, very dangerous for you. As for the loot tables, we don't know what is being dropped this week. Hopefully, praying to the gods of Arrakis, the Shai Halud, please give us something good, because every week we just keep getting the same blueprints over and over again. I know if you diversify what you are picking up from, say, crash ships and going to labs and then going to wreckage, you will eventually start finding different blueprints, but it's just not really popping up for me. I don't really feel like Funcom is spending enough time diversifying the loot table for us week to week. Hopefully they will be doing something about that. So as a wrap up this week, guess what? There is nowhere safe. I cannot say that there's any lane that will be any safer or any more dangerous than any other lane, because as you can see, every single lane now has something which is gonna be in some form or fashion a dangerous kill zone for everyone, minus these two here in the middle, but I mean this is because they are just empty sand unless you get over to these two areas, in which I would say they're probably not worth jumping into anyways, because they are labs and they are probably being run on timers, so you're not going to be able to get in there regardless. But if you can, good, kudos to you. Please stay safe out there, guys. This was a pleasure working with you once again to try to get this information out to you. Keep in mind, there are things that will be added to this map as the week goes, so please make sure to check in. If you find something new, leave a comment below so that I can inform the community, you can inform the community, we'll all inform the community together to make sure that everyone is staying up to date on where they can find the single best items and materials inside of the game, and we can all progress together in a happy, lovely world. Thank you guys for coming. Please remember, if there is anything you would like to say, comment, shout outs, any kind of questions, please leave them in the comments below. I want to hear from you. Thank you guys for watching and have a great week.